Could the Yankees and the Mets be in trouble? Let's go talk about it. Okay, so here we go. In case you've been living under a rock, Aaron Judge is really good, and he's a free agent, and he's going to make a lot of money. Taking a look at the numbers with Aaron Judge last year, hit .311 with a .425 on base, a .686 slugging, had 62 homers. That's an American League record, breaking Roger Maris's record of 61, a .207 WRC+, a Fangraph WAR of 11.4. This guy's going to make a ton of money. However, there is possibly an investigation that is going to happen with not Aaron Judge, but with the Mets and the Yankees. Taking a look here at an article written by Ken Rosenthal on The Athletic. MLB investigating whether the Mets and the Yankees communicated improperly about Aaron Judge. Ooh, we got something juicy here. Major League Baseball is investigating whether comments attributed to Mets sources about the team's reluctance to pursue free agent outfielder Aaron Judge constitute a violation of baseball's collective bargaining agreement. An article published on the Mets television network's website November 3rd said the Mets would not bid against the Yankees for Judge. Here was that article on SNY. Andy Martino wrote here, talking to Mets people about this all through the year. The team in Queens sees Judge as a Yankee, uniquely tailored to be an icon in their uniform, stadium, and branding efforts. Owners Steve Cohen and Hal Steinbrenner enjoy a mutually respectful relationship and do not expect to upend that with a high-profile bidding war. Well, that is a no-no. You can't be having teams purposely not bidding on a player. I mean, if they don't want the player, sure, that's one thing. But to not make any kind of a bid just because of another team in town, that's a big no-no, because that's going against the best interests of the player. At the end of the day, the Players Association, they want their players to make money. So if a team, the Mets could use someone like Aaron Judge, and the Mets have the financial resources to pay someone like Aaron Judge. But if they're just purposely not going after Aaron Judge just because of the Yankees and a mutually respectful relationship, that's a no-no. You can't do that, because that's going, like I said, against the best interests of the players. Now, in the end, I just think, who knows how big this could turn into, but this has happened in the past. It actually happened 3 times in the late 1980s. Independent arbitrators ruled that the owners, I believe, I can't remember the exact years. I think it was from 1985 to 1987. There were 3 straight off seasons where owners, they were kind of, talking with each other, saying, oh, we're not going to bid on this player, yada, yada, yada. So a settlement of the 3 cases resulted in the owners agreeing to pay the players $280 million. That's a big lump sum of change. that's back in the 1980s. $280 million with inflation today, that's a lot of money that you would have to, pay the Players Association. The players later alleged the owners also engaged in collusion in 2002 and 2003, and the owners agreed to pay the players $12 million. So who knows, how far this investigation goes? Who knows how much money you would have to end up paying? Not quite sure. But yeah, in the end, you cannot be purposely not bidding on a player just because you respect the other team in town. And you could also even see like a team like my Red Sox saying, well, why aren't the Mets, bidding? They would love for Aaron Judge to go to San Francisco. They would love for him to get out of this division. So I could see teams like the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, the Orioles being like, well, hey, Mets, what are you doing? You can pay for this guy. Why aren't you making any bids and making it harder for the Yankees to try and bring him back? So in the end, there's a lot of parties that have interest in this where it could be affecting them. But most of all, in the end, the Players Association, they're looking out for the best interest of the players. Now, there was also something else in this article with Justin Verlander and the Astros. So there was actually another article on MLB.com, a separate comment by Astros owner Jim Crane on his team's website Tuesday saying Justin Verlander was seeking a contract similar to Max Scherzer's also could prompt scrutiny from the Players Association if the union perceives it to be a violation of the CBA. Now, going to this article here on the Astros part of MLB.com, he said here, Crane said Verlander is seeking a deal similar to Max Scherzer who signed a 3-year, $130 million contract with the Mets a year ago. Crane said he hopes the absence of a state income tax in Texas will give the Astros an edge. Saying here, I know him well, so we've been pretty candid. He's looking at the comp or the comparison, which I think there's only one or two. JV's probably got a few years left, and he wants to make the most of it. I think he's going to test the market on that. I mean, that's kind of a no-no right there, because first off, if you're saying out loud, that he's looking for this kind of money, 3 years, 130, well, that could scare off a lot of teams. Be like, no, we're not paying that much money. So already you're kind of affecting his market, or you could be affecting his market in that way. You never really want to be revealing any details, about any kind of contract situations, because at the end of the day, that can give teams leverage or take away leverage. You don't want any of that. So I can understand the scrutiny here as well. So, in the end, these owners, hey, they could be getting themselves in some trouble. Very, very decent article here written by Ken Rosenthal. Could this go anywhere? Yeah, it definitely could. Absolutely. I could see a lot of people saying, this is a bit of a non-issue. Who cares? But at the end of the day, stuff like this can affect the market overall. And it can affect players, the earnings that they can make. But it can also just affect you can have ripple effects, right? If you're, saying these kind of things out loud, taking teams out of the picture, it's not going to help the players or anyone involved. It's just going to, it's just going to put a bit of a roadblock on things in the end. And you don't want that. You want the market to be thriving. You want teams to be bidding against each other. At the end of the day, us fans, we love that. We love when teams are making bids. We love seeing the rumors going back and forth. Remember with, for example, Trevor Bauer, you had the Mets and the Dodgers going back and forth. You're wondering, where's he going to go? So, you're taking also just the excitement out of it as well. But I mean, that's not the biggest issue, but just a little thing as well. Anyway, we'll just have to wait and see where this ends up going. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I'm interested to see what all of you think. What do you think about this? Do you think this is a non-issue? Do you not think this is really a big deal? Or do you think it actually is a pretty big deal? Let me know what you think down below. But that's all I have for right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.